Hi guys, I'm Ed and today we're looking at the BRK Ghost Special Edition, but this one is the high power version. So the Special Edition can be identified by the blue finish that stands out quite well. Now this rifle has ceased production because it's Special Edition, but you can build a standard Ghost up to this spec and that will cost you about £2,000. Now the reason I wanted to test one of these rifles is because it's built around a chassis system, and I love a chassis system because you can adapt it to your requirements. Essentially you can build, add and remove parts, swap bits out and make it a bit more unique as well, which is nice. This also goes hand in hand with the sort of tunability of these rifles, which is quite significant, especially on the high power versions where you need a firearms license, because you have a much broader power range to play with, and it means you can really sort of tune it to perform exactly how you want it. So you can adjust noise level, air usage, velocity, accuracy, all of those things. It's all a balancing act of depending on what you want from the rifle. So what I'll do is I'll go through the features. Importantly, the Ghost is in the Bullpup configuration, and what that means is the working parts are here behind the pistol grip. And this allows the rifle to have a long barrel in a short compact package, or relatively short compact package, which helps with manoeuvrability and performance. Now the rifle on test here has the 711mm tube, which is I think about 28 inches, but you can spec a 600mm barrel if you like. This one's chambered in .25, but you can of course get the mainstream ones like 30 cal or 22177. Now the rifle actually offers a switch barrel capability, so you can swap out the barrel, probe and magazine system, buying an alternative from BRK and adjust or pick a caliber to suit your requirements better. So again, offering you more sort of adaptability to your preferred shooting environment, if you will. The barrels themselves come threaded, and that's how this BRK manufactured silencer fits onto the rifle. You'll see here you've got a carbon shroud. This is actually a barrel tensioning system to reduce vibrations and increase rigidity. And looking on the BRK website, it's actually adjustable as well, though it does come from the factory preset at the correct levels. Underneath, you'll find a 480cc carbon bottle, which is actually valved. More on that in a bit. Now, one of the most important upgrades that the Special Edition version came with was this sort of underslung fore-end here, which I believe is a must-have accessory. And if I was speccing up a standard Ghost, this would be the first box that I ticked. It measures about 10 inches long, obviously protects the bottle is one benefit, and you get M-lock slots on either side and underneath, as well as a length of Arca rail, which is hugely useful if you've got a tripod, as it gives the rifle so much versatility, different shooting positions you can use. It also means that you can mount, crucially, a bipod further forward, because otherwise you're sort of mounting it down here, and you get extra stability mounting it up the other end. So that's a huge bonus for this SE version, and definitely an option worth picking. In between the barrel and the bottle is a knob under here, and that helps you adjust the pressure on the Huma regulator. Now on this side of the rifle there's a manometer that shows the reg pressure, and that's sat when I got the rifle at about 150. You can just turn that up if you like quite easily, but if you want to turn it down you have to remove the bottle first. Luckily it's valved. That means even if it's full, you take it off, fire the rifle a few times to get rid of the air in the system, crank that knob right down, because it's so much easier to turn it up rather than down. Put the bottle back on, and then yes, wind up and do all your testing on all the pressures that you're working up to, basically. So that's easy to use. Here you can see the main reservoir pressure as well. The rifle fills to 250 bar via a Foster connector underneath here. You get a slightly longer one with the rifle that you can attach to your dive bottle, and that slots in under there nice and easily. Above the trigger, a simple push button safety. You push it from the right to left to turn it off with a little red ring on this side so that you know it's you're ready to fire. And then by this point, hopefully, you can see why the rifle costs what it does, because you get a fully adjustable 2-stage trigger. So you can adjust the trigger shoe up and down or rotate it. You can adjust the position of the trigger, so therefore your reach to the trigger blade. You can adjust first and second stage travel, as well as first and second stage weight. And all those adjustments, that's an expensive piece of the rifle, basically. So you're definitely getting your money's worth with that trigger unit. You get on the, as standard, a AK style grip, very similar to AR-15. The one that you get with the rifle is incredibly comfortable, and obviously the advantage of this is it means you can swap it out for one of the many different versions that are available. One thing I would like to see on a rifle like this is it's become more and more popular to have sort of a thumb shelf, so you don't have to wrap your hand around the pistol grip. You can actually sit it up here and you'd rest your thumb on there, and not only does that mean you get a consistent grip, but it also means that you can get to the cocking lever a bit faster without having to bring your thumb all the way around to get to it. The cocking lever, as you can see, sits here just above, so for quick access. The SE version came with a slightly different grip on here, and crucially you can swap the cocking lever to the other side of the rifle, making it fully ambidextrous, and that just takes a bit of time and with some tools, and that's quite easy to do. Moving back, you've got the magazine port, which is also ambidextrous. You can insert the magazine from either side, which is great. The magazine comes with magnets, so it just slots in. 10 shot in this in .25 caliber. And then here you'll see one of the easiest forms of adjustment, which is this 20 position knob at the back. Interestingly, if you take the butt of the rifle off, you can actually remove that, and there's a spring behind it. And you can buy a spring kit from BRK as well, colour coded. And you can swap them out to adjust the power range that you're used to, and that goes hand in hand when you're switching calibers up. It gives you a much better scope for adjustment, and that's very easy to do by yourself. Right at the rear of the rifle, you get with the SE version a gecko butt pad. This is adjustable for height via an Allen key, which obviously helps you get into a comfortable shooting position. And underneath the butt, you also get a piece of Picatinny rail where you can either add a monopod or a bag rider, which would, in all honesty, probably be what I would select, allowing you to rest the rifle in a bag a bit more comfortably. The real sort of gem for me is that they have a length of dovetail along the top of the rifle, all the way along here, and they've mounted the cheek piece on it and this Picatinny, inclined Picatinny scope rail on it. And what that means is you can adjust all the way along here. You can move this Picatinny rail all the way back. That means not only can you perfect your eye relief, but it also means you can switch between, you can adapt it to accommodate different types of scope, whether they be zero eye relief or rifles with less eye relief, maybe some night vision units and things like that. Very easily adapted to this rifle. And obviously cheek piece movement means that you ensure that you're comfortable at all times. So all in all, there's a lot of features on this rifle. Right, so performance-wise, how did I get on? Well, this rifle, like I said, came from the factory with the regulator set at 150 bar, and with the wheel at the back set to maximum power, I was getting just shy of 1,000 feet per second with the Rangemaster Emperor pellets, which I think are 33.95 grain. And that equates to about 75 foot-pounds, which is pretty impressive. If I dialed the wheel all the way down to minimum, I was getting 65 foot-pounds, which is about 935 feet per second. So not a massive change, but enough to change the sort of dynamics with different pellets, I imagine. I definitely noticed the difference between the two settings, with the minimum setting, even though it was running 65 foot-pounds, much closer to a sort of normal sort of 12 foot-pound air gun, but only when you cranked it up to the higher setting did it start to feel quite potent. I wouldn't call it recoil, but a definite sort of impulse of energy through the rifle as you fire. Quite a nice feeling. All that power, of course, does come at a cost. Air consumption was significant. Now I never quite fill air guns up to maximum pressure. I was filling this about sort of 220, 230, and I was filling up after 40 shots. So if this was my rifle, I'd definitely be changing the tune and working on the regulator pressure to try and get it maybe a few more shots out of it per charge at the cost of a bit more cost of power. So that's something to consider. I was filling up the air gun a lot while I was testing it. Accuracy wise, I was plagued with bad weather for a lot of the sessions where I was testing this. I did get it indoors eventually, and as expected with a rifle with this reputation, as the Ghost has a strong reputation for accuracy, and I was just sprinting small clusters at 50 meters all day long. I did get to use it in some pretty adverse conditions with some high winds, shooting at steel, and it performed very well there with, again, noticeable impact noises between the different power levels as well. So a very capable tool even in those tricky conditions. So yeah, decent performance on offer. What did I think? Well, I think given the price of £2,000, I think BRK have done a really good job of justifying that money, just through the sheer amount of adjustability, modularity, however you want to term it, and tunability that they're offering you. If you don't need any of that, then this rifle doesn't make sense to you. But if, like me, you've bought a rifle and then your sort of shooting evolves, your style, your permissions, the distances you shoot at, things like that, if they change and evolve, then this rifle and this platform, should I call it, allows you to adapt and change. So if you need to knock rabbits over at longer distances, you can go up to sort of 30 cal and eke those distances out as far as possible, or you can just go back down to sort of 177, have a bit more grunt and a flatter trajectory for some shorter range stuff. So I really like that about the rifle. I like the fact that you can accessorize it how you want. You can make it your own, and it grows with you as you sort of evolve. I think that's really sort of the main benefit of this rifle, and it comes with incredible performance, huge power ranges on offer, accuracy on offer, and it's a pleasurable gun to shoot with an excellent trigger, a nice, smooth and crucially reliable cocking mechanism, simple and effective magazine, and with the special edition one you even get a single shot loader, so you can weigh out your pellets if you like, and you can print tiny groups at great distances if you want, with the benefit of the single shot loader slowing you down a bit and reducing your air consumption, which is one of the sort of disadvantages for me, especially if you're taking it for a day of tuning. You're going to need a big dive bottle if you're running it at full power to really develop those tunes, because you'll be filling up a lot, or maybe even a compressor. That is an option, of course. So loads of accessories that you can buy to improve this. They're worth checking out, and all in all, a great rifle that I really enjoyed shooting. Right, well, that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe, or put a comment down below. Tell me about your experiences if you run FAC-Air and what your favourite calibre is and what you use it for. I think it'll be interesting for everyone to hear. So until next time, thank you very much.